Barron Trump sat in the audience, his expression unreadable, as the debate hall buzzed with energy. The nation's sharpest young minds had gathered, but the spotlight belonged to one person, Camila Martinez. She stepped onto the stage like she owned it, her presence electric. A fearless debater with fire in her voice and conviction in her eyes, she thrived on tearing weak arguments apart. Born to immigrant parents who had fought for every opportunity, she carried their resilience in her very being. She had battled her way here, and tonight, she was certain no one could match her. But what she didn't realize was that Barron wasn't just a spectator. He was waiting for the perfect moment to strike, and when he did, it would change everything. As she adjusted the microphone, a confident smirk tugged at her lips. "Fellow students," she began, her voice sharp and commanding, "we're here to talk about progress, but there's an elephant in the room we can't ignore." The auditorium fell silent, every eye fixed on her. "We're fighting against the suffocating grip of outdated generations on our future. People over 50 still hold the reins of power, dictating the direction of our nation." A ripple of unease spread through the room. Some students shifted uncomfortably, while others leaned forward, captivated by her boldness. These traditionalists cling to their obsolete values, their so-called patriotism, their rigid family structures. A smattering of applause broke out, emboldening her. While we face modern challenges, these boomers, who can barely navigate a smartphone, still control our destiny. The applause grew louder, fueling her momentum. Camila pressed on, her voice rising with conviction. "What we need is an age limit on political participation. Why should someone who won't live to see the consequences of their decisions have a say in our future?" The crowd erupted in cheers, and Camila felt a rush of triumph. She was unstoppable. They built their wealth on privilege and oppression, and now they lecture us about morality, she declared, her voice ringing through the auditorium. "Their America's dead, and it's time we buried it." The applause was deafening now, and Camila basked in the adoration, her confidence soaring. In the third row, Barron Trump sat motionless, his expression unreadable. Few recognized him as he had quietly observed the debates all day. Camila, intoxicated by the crowd's approval, proposed a radical movement to restrict voting rights and public office positions to those under 50. "Let's face it," she concluded, "they had their chance, and they messed it up. Now it's our turn." Dr. Carson, the professor moderating the debate, stepped forward, his face etched with concern. "Does anyone wish to present a counter-argument?" he asked, his voice barely audible over the lingering applause. Camila crossed her arms, a satisfied smile playing on her lips as the room began to quiet. Then a deep, calm voice cut through the silence. "I would." All heads turned to Barron Trump as he rose from his seat. Camilla's smirk widened as she leaned into the microphone. "Well, look who decided to grace us with his opinion. Daddy's boy himself." A few scattered laughs echoed through the room, but Barron remained composed as he made his way to the podium. "Thank you for your passionate presentation, Camila," he began, his voice steady and measured. "But passion without wisdom is like a ship without a rudder. Powerful, but dangerous." Camilla's smile faltered, caught off guard by his calm demeanor. "You speak of progress," Barron continued, "but true progress isn't built by tearing down those who came before us. It's built on their shoulders." He paused, letting his words sink in. "When you say someone over 50 shouldn't have a voice in our future, do you realize you're talking about the very people who created the technology you used to research your arguments?" Camila opened her mouth to interrupt, but Barron raised a hand. "Please, you had your turn." The audience stirred, surprised by Camilla's sudden hesitation. Barron pressed on. "Let's talk about what real progress looks like. You mentioned smartphones. Did you know that many of the key innovations in your iPhone were developed by people who are now in their 60s and 70s? The same boomers you want to silence?" Camila rolled her eyes, trying to regain her footing. "That's ancient history," she shot back, but Barron smoothly countered. "Speaking of history, let's discuss your claim that their America is dead. The America they built provides the very platform you're using to attack them. The universities where we study were built by them. The prosperity that allows us to spend our time debating instead of struggling to survive was created by them. The freedoms we enjoy were protected by them." The audience's attention shifted entirely to Barron, and even some of Camilla's supporters began to nod thoughtfully. Camilla's confidence wavered as Barron continued. You mentioned that they don't understand modern problems. The generation that lived through the Cold War, the Civil Rights Movement, multiple economic crises, and the birth of the digital age doesn't understand complex problems? They solve challenges we haven't even learned about yet. Camilla fired back, frustration creeping into her voice. Barron cut her off. You mean hard work, personal responsibility, and respect for others? The same values that built the greatest nation on earth? He gestured to the room. Look around you. Everything in this room, from the chairs you're sitting on to the democratic system that allows us to have this debate, was built by people who held those values. The crowd murmured, and Camilla's supporters shifted uncomfortably. Barron pressed on. But here's what truly concerns me. In the name of progress, you're advocating for the most regressive policy imaginable, discrimination based on age. Isn't it ironic that while claiming to fight for inclusion, you're calling for the exclusion of millions of American citizens? Camilla's composure cracked, and she snapped. You think you can come here with your suit and manners and defend your privileged system? Your family represents everything wrong with this country. The elite hiding behind traditional values while real Americans suffer. Barron remained unshaken. Interesting how you claim to champion diversity while mocking people's faith because their beliefs oppress others. Camilla's face flushed, and her supporters rallied around her. But the energy in the room had shifted. Barron continued. You say they're tools of control, yet these same values taught millions to fight for civil rights, to help their neighbors, to build communities. My trust fund? I've been volunteering at veteran shelters since I was 14. How many hours have you spent helping others? The room fell silent, and Camilla's triumphant expression crumbled. Barron concluded, when facts don't match your narrative, you switch to personal attacks. Classic tactic of someone losing an argument. Camilla's face turned crimson, and for the first time, she was at a loss for words. This debate between Camilla and Barron teaches us the importance of wisdom, humility, and respect for past generations. While passion and activism are crucial for progress, they must be grounded in understanding and appreciation for history. True leadership is not about tearing others down, but about building upon their foundations. Barron's response highlights that progress should be inclusive, valuing the contributions of all generations rather than dismissing them. Additionally, this story serves as a reminder that meaningful conversations require listening as much as speaking. Camilla initially approached the debate with hostility and a desire to dismantle the influence of older generations. But through Barron's calm and well-reasoned response, she came to recognize the value of perspective and experience. Instead of seeing generational differences as a barrier, we should view them as an opportunity for learning and collaboration. Finally, this story underscores the importance of constructive discourse over divisive rhetoric. Attacking others based on age, background, or beliefs only deepens divides. Progress is best achieved through mutual respect, open-minded discussions, and a willingness to see beyond our own biases. In the end, Camilla and Barron's interaction is a testament to the idea that true change happens when we approach conversations with both conviction and an open heart. Let's keep the conversation going. Subscribe, share, and drop your thoughts below. Your perspective is valuable and might inspire others.